Somehow, my daughters fell in love with Formula One. I don't know how or why, but I'm not arguing. They may not know wheel, but does anyone?
Hi, and welcome to We Don't Know Real F1. I'm Grace. Anne's on vacation, and we're two sisters, but today only one who
What am
made a
I? Chopped
podcast.
liver?
Well, okay, we are actually two sisters who fell in love with Formula One, and now we force all our friends to podcast with us about it. And we've got some special guests, one additional sister, one additional friend.
Hello. We are the reoccurring guests,
Shelly's
or
like, I
I
am
am.
not a special guest. I am a podcaster,
Friend
which is
of the
accurate.
pod,
Long-term fan.
professional podcasters,
Professional
please.
podcaster.
Yeah,
We're back.
We're back, baby.
can't get rid of us.
Oh my God, there's so much to talk about today.
I'm glad we didn't record last night, which we talked about
Yeah.
doing because there have been some announcements rolled out this morning that we
Carlos
maybe should
Sainz.
touch on at the end, or do you want to talk about it now? Should we do a backwards episode? Let's talk
Yeah.
about today.
Let's talk about the drama.
So
Carlos
Carlos to Williams.
to Williams.
We called this, right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? I feel
I
like
have
we've been
to-
talking about this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have been seeing just the discourse around everything. It's funny because people are up in arms. Like Carlos to Williams, that sucks. Like he's downgrading from the Ferrari team, and it really shows how people feel about Williams. I thought there was maybe more love around it. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of things, but I think it's a great team.
On
And
a
I'm
pro
excited.
side, I think we're more likely than ever to get access to a garage that Carlos Sainz is in.
That's a really
so
good
right.
point.
Affordable merch, maybe? Yes.
Let's stock up on our Williams merch for the next race because I do feel like they are one of those teams that's pulling a fan into the garage at every race.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
We
you want a
need-
paddock pass? Because so few people are wearing their kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to be making our own specialized Williams merch because honestly, they're not. I do have to say, of all the teams, I think I like the Williams merch the best. I like the light blue with the dark blue. Those are my colors. No.
I like blue. Yeah.
I like blue.
I don't like blue.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Do you really not like
Have you
blue?
ever seen me wear blue?
No.
Think about it. Let's breeze past this.
Let's talk about our favorite colors some more. No.
Favorite color? Papaya.
Stop.
Dutch orange.
Dutch orange.
Mm.
But I actually like their merch. I think maybe the best of all the merches. It has kind of a retro-y, vintagey look this year.
I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. But
Sarah.
I like Alex's stuff typically.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just a huge Alex fan in general. I'm excited about the Alex Carlos of it all.
What's their
The
name together?
Alos, the Carlex.
I think we need to work on that. I don't know.
Carlos.
Carlex. Selbon.
I like that. Selbon.
Selbon is good.
Yeah.
Albines. That's it. That's the end.
I do feel like they're gonna be. I feel like it's a really good driver's pairing. Like James Vowles, he's doing something.
He really knows how to pull a driver.
He knows how
There's
to wine and
something
dine
going
him.
on.
I'm not a super Logan fan, but I sympathize with Logan. Let's put that out there. Maybe you've seen the progression.
She's
and
becoming a Logan girly.
It's been
I'm
interesting
scared.
because last week there was, I think, news buzzing around how Logan and James were not on speaking terms or not getting any feedback from his performances. And I guess, Logan kind of debunked that for the most part. He's without a seat, and there is a part of the internet that is crying today. Crying and putting edits, and they're sick at James Vowles. So
They're sick.
they're sick at him. But
Shelley,
I'm happy for
could we get a few bars of maybe a fitting Taylor Swift song from you for the moment?
no.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yes.
No, keep going. Keep going.
I'm just amazed by the amount of like Taylor Swift songs that seemingly fit well with like the F1 drivers. I don't know how that's possible.
She's a narrative songwriter.
She's transcendent. So like it's been amazing seeing these edits that are just like, this is accurate to the storyline of
It's amazing
Logan,
how
Max,
how
Charles.
similar romantic heartbreak and motorsport heartbreak. There's a lot of parallels there.
That's why they write the fan fiction.
It's so good. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
I'm excited for Carlos. Hoping they do well next year.
It says 25, 26 and beyond.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I feel like this is the thing. He's like looking for his home.
Yeah.
He's looking for a team he can be at for seems like the long haul.
Yeah.
So hopefully Williams is good, and hopefully this isn't a Daniel Ricciardo 2020, not 2020 the year, 2020 looking backwards,
Yeah. I don't think
sort
it
of
will
like,
be.
oh, what have I done?
Because I feel like Carlos has been at so many teams and he's pretty adaptable in each one. Like he comes
Where
in.
did he start?
He started at Toro Rosso.
Oh yeah.
So he was at Toro Rosso, then he went to Renault, then he went to McLaren, then he went to Ferrari. Like he's been in all these different teams, and he's I think like very much known as someone who like comes in, like integrates himself into a team and makes something happen.
Gets the bromance going, gets things brewing.
He had like a bromance with Hulk when he was at Renault.
Do you think now he's the number one driver? Like Alex is number 2 now at Williams.
Oh, that's interesting.
No. I think that they're equal.
You're dreaming, babe. I don't think there's any team where their drivers are like really equal.
Yeah, I think Carlos is coming in like he's number 1.
I'm the number 1 guy in this group.
Yeah.
Does anyone know that reference?
No.
It's a Vanderpump Rules reference.
Please, I'm a star.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they both are bringing I think they're actually both bringing like a lot of similar things, but in a good way, because the team has so much building to do. And Alex is known for being
good teammates.
Yeah, Alex is known for being incredible on the sim and on like feedback. In that way, I think Carlos is also good with car feedback, but like strategy as well. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm prepped. I'm ready to make some Williams merch. I've got ideas already.
Okay.
Maybe we'll show them on social media.
I know. I was thinking
here.
about that thing you were asking me to do, and I was like, could I do that? I don't get it though. Shelley, I literally have been watching all those videos and I'm like, what does it mean?
That one was pretty new, and I don't know if it's yet caught, but there are plenty of trend.
I'm seeing it on Reels.
Oh,
yeah,
you
it's
are
like paging Dr. So-and-so.
Oh, yeah.
Emergency. And then you just stand and walk like this. And you wear different clothes.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. I'm getting too old.
But yeah, maybe we'll show
when we
some of our
finish
fun
this,
stuff.
I'll go put on some clothes and you can tell me if I could do it, if I can pull it off.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, okay, the video that you sent, Shelley, with that trend though, it was like somebody in all their McLaren merch. And I was like, I have seen the prices for this McLaren merch. This is probably $1,000 worth of merch in this video. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. But
Let's do it.
our cute little homemade merch would be fun too.
I need to do more of these t-shirts you did with the pictures on them.
That's the move.
That's
Yeah.
the move.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Merch idea. It's like a baby driver's shirt like you did, but it's Carlos at all of his teams in all their different merch.
That's a good idea.
That could be a real Eras shirt.
oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now we get it. Now we're seeing the vision.
Light
the
bulb.
vision.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, how
what's our
about we
step
do
back?
that
Race?
trend? Wait, I'm still
Oh.
in this. We do that
Okay,
trend,
okay.
but it's different people. So it's like I'll do an outfit and it'll be Sarah in an outfit and then Anne in an outfit and then you in an outfit.
It was supposed to be a collective group effort.
I can film
Perfect.
one clip of myself. Yeah.
Okay. Watch out
I
for
can do that.
I really am worried. No.
Maybe I'll find another like outfit one that feels more fitting, but
No, we can do it. We can at least attempt it.
Great.
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 Okay.
Um
To the
Okay.
race.
George,
Yeah, we're going
disqualification
backwards.
would be a
Wait.
step back.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
we gotta go through the weekend. We can't
We're
just
going
jump into
Yeah, we're going
George.
backwards. We're doing
Oh.
a backwards week.
Okay.
Because Anne's not here to keep us in check.
Yeah. We're going
Backwards.
backwards. George got disqualified for his
That was
comment.
spoiled for me. I have to admit. I
Who
had to
did
wait
it?
to watch the race yesterday till I got home from work. And I was at work and I was looking something up and I was on Reddit, which was a mistake. I don't know why. I was talking to Grace about this. I don't want my medias to be tracking my activity across other social medias because that's why things like this happen. I don't even have a Reddit account. There's no reason they should know that I'm interested in Formula One, but it doesn't matter. It went on and it was spoiled that George was disqualified. Anyway, that was my only spoiler. And I didn't know that he was gonna win and then be disqualified. I was like, oh, well, whatever. And then it was obviously much more dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, you were just like, he's disqualified, whatever. And then you watched the
Right,
race
right,
and you're
right,
like,
right.
he won. Oh.
Right. I just knew he
that's
was
still pretty
disqualified.
good. Okay. That's still
Yeah.
kind of good, except maybe you could tell by the end how sad it was going to be.
I mean, I feel like
Fun.
I got to like the last 10 laps and I was like, wait,
What's
is George
going on
really gonna
here?
do this?
I know. And
This
I
is
have to say,
crazy.
the F1 TV commentators were very like, George is not winning.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
hating on the commentary this weekend. I was like, this is the worst commentary I've heard all season.
I mean, I think that they just really thought that those tires were gonna fall off in like the
Yeah, but it was
last
also like
5
it
laps.
was Alex Jacques and Jolyon
Yeah.
Palmer. And I feel like
Yeah.
those two
Say it.
have nothing to say.
No. I like Alex.
Oh,
I like
sure, I do
Alex.
too, but he's like
feel like
he's the
he's good
audience
at the-
proxy. Like he's like, here's what's happening.
Yes.
I have
He's
a
good at the
basic
dramatic
understanding.
reading.
Yeah.
He's like, he watched this race from his childhood
Yeah.
porch. That's what he's good at. But yeah, did Jolyon Palmer race? Did he
Yes,
drive?
and he never brings
like, half a
anything
season?
interesting to say. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to be a hater.
I was definitely, I know you, but you hate on David Coulthard
I hate on
sometimes.
everyone. No.
And now you know why he's so important for the mix.
Yes. Because at least David, okay, was it you who was okay? I was listening to last week's episode after the part after my phone died. And you were saying, like, okay, come on, you guys, we don't need to talk about like 1976 anymore. Let's move along. Because he was full on like giving, it was like the race was happening and it was quite exciting. And he was like, I remember when I was in this. Which
Oh yeah,
is
this person
actually
won, and then go back
Yeah.
to yeah.
Which was actually good commentary. Like I was like, okay, fine. This is good. It was not the right
Yeah.
time for it because that race was too exciting for a
Yeah.
story in the middle of it. But Julian Palmer is just like,
They're racing.
they're racing. Here's my experience. I feel like he's not good at predicting. He's constantly like, I don't know.
You're a hater.
How did he get that job?
Let's see the resume.
Okay. Also, in my mind, I was like, oh, Ruth Buscom's just not there. She doesn't go to every race. Like, totally. No, I think she was there. She was in Belgium.
Yeah, she
Why
was.
was
But was
I
she like available as help?
I think
She
she
was
played a
at the
different
race.
role. I think she played a different role this
Oh,
weekend. Like
okay,
she was
Shelley, tell us.
hosting.
Because there's no way that she would have been like available for commentary and they just didn't pull her in ever.
I think she played
There's
a
no
different
way.
role this weekend. Like she was more with Will,
yeah.
pre and post race. I think just
Okay.
discussing. So they should have pulled her because she
Her commentary
need
was
her.
so necessary because I was like,
Yeah.
can someone come talk to me about the tire strategy that is happening right now? And literally, I had another friend text me and be like, what was happening with tires? And I'm like, where's Ruth?
She's with Will.
She was with Will. Yeah, I
I
was
don't-
definitely missing her commentary too.
Yeah. I was devastated.
I had watched the race at an airport, partially like on my way to the airport, but then at the airport, and saw everything. George won. I'm like just baffled. And then I had a board. And then once I get off the plane, I see these things about the FIA investigating, and then suddenly see it's been pulled from George this win. And I don't know where the F1 Instagram page got that photo of George like sitting in like
Yes.
where's that from? Because I do remember in the post kind of like interviews after the racing when Oscar was talking, George was like sitting in a corner like behind him, and I wasn't sure if it was like a photo from George taken that day, or I think it was maybe another day that they maybe found that photo, but it was crazy. So I got the full kind of like experience of celebrating whatever this really awesome strategy that he kind of had, Mercedes pull for him, but it was so sad.
Well, also, yeah, like I think it's such a hard one because you're like, George did such a good race. He did an incredible job. What a bummer that his car was underweight. But also like, I think good to follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Carlos's strategy? Because it's obvious that he also considered a 2-stop.
Oh, a 1-stop?
Yeah, a 1-stop, sorry. 3 stops.
I don't know what happened with Carlos, but I did see people talking about how his strategy got messed up.
But he got pulled off of the hards before he was halfway through. So it was like, he's not going to make it. And then even by that point in the race, I feel like it seemed very clear that it was extremely difficult to pass. Right? That was the big issue, is everyone stuck in these DRS trains. And George held Hamilton off. I mean, it wasn't, I don't know. It just kind of led me to be like, would it have been better for Ferrari to leave him out there, even to the point where he did eventually get passed, if it became where he could do a 1-stop but be further up, like maybe he's getting 3rd instead of like 6th?
Mm-hmm.
We need Anne.
I don't know.
We need
Anne.
And Ruth.
We need Ruth. Okay, who's
My little brain. I don't know the answers to these things.
You guys know the Red Flag podcast.
I think we all
like-
see stuff. Yeah.
Okay, and now they're having Gunther on all the time to talk about the drivers market.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much
Should
they're
we get
paying
Gunther
him.
on?
How much are they
Do you
paying
think they're
him?
paying him?
He's
I
not
guess-
he can't be doing that for free. He shouldn't be.
He doesn't have a job.
He needs
Doesn't have a
money.
job.
He needs income.
He has a family.
He's an immigrant.
Stop. He's It's like, have you seen that clip from, it's like a Real Housewives reunion. I'm on a Real Housewives kick today. Where
Yes,
the
I
woman's
have.
like, I immigrated. And then Andy Cohen's like, from Canada? And she's like, yes.
Yeah, I really thought he was only going to be there for a bit, but now he's been on multiple episodes. So
Yeah, I thought one episode, I was like, okay, that's cool. But now I'm like, are you guys the Gunther podcast now? But we need Ruth to do that for us. No. She's too skilled.
Ruth already has a job. We
We
need
could probably
someone
get Claire Williams.
unemployed.
not Claire. Oh gosh.
Shelly. Not Claire.
Maybe Chloe Stroll?
Oh my God. Yes. Wait, who's following her
Because
pregnancy?
you know her husband is on one of those podcasts a lot.
Yes.
Scotty?
Wait, wasn't he
Scotty
also
James?
on the Red Flag podcast?
Yeah, I feel like he's on Red Flag. I've seen him on there before. So maybe we make an offer to a billionaire's daughter.
Chloe, you ready to come
And
on
then she could
and
write a
chit
song
chat?
about it.
Stop. I'm trying to think of another. It's not a bad idea though. Her dad owns an F1 team.
I know.
Shelly,
I know.
send the email. No.
I think I think we could get a driver, but like an F2 driver or like,
F1
Mm.
Academy.
yes, we definitely could. Chloe.
Honestly, yes. And we should
Chloe.
probably just make the podcast about F1 Academy, and then I think we would pop off.
They had
But
more
then we have
races.
to
They only
watch.
have
Yeah.
6
If
races
they
a
had
year.
more.
6 episodes a year is perfect. It lines up really well with my schedule.
Stop. It's perfect. with
Okay, I
my
need to talk
schedule.
about, I want to talk about the driver of the day vote. Did you guys vote for driver of the day?
No, because I watched too late.
I will admit,
Shell?
She voted
because
for Oscar.
I voted for Oscar, but under Grace's account. So Grace did vote for Oscar. It's because the login stuff, and I don't know why like it happens that way, but it does. So whenever I vote
Okay.
for Grace,
Actually, though, I think
You need to be voting for
Oscar-
Carlos.
she hates it. Oh, that's all. Yep.
I think Oscar had a really good drive yesterday.
He had a good race.
He was like really driving aggressively in like a really good way. His pass on, I don't know, he's passing everybody. He was passing left and right. He was aggressive. He was fast. I think that's a valid vote. Okay. My question is,
Yeah, so
okay.
who was the top 3, Sarah, when you saw it? Was it Lando?
It was, yes, Lando's always in there. There's something going on with
There's
his fan
something.
base.
I bet there's like a Reddit
There's
thread about
something
this.
going on. Yeah.
There's
Lewis
a Tumblr about it.
Lewis Hamilton. And maybe Max. Probably Max.
Oh,
Or Charles. Maybe Charles.
Charles did not.
I'm
have
not sure. This is what I'm saying. I mean, it was a weird day for driver of the day because it was like the top 4 teams were all driving pretty good, but there wasn't like a huge standout, except that George
anyone was
won
the
the
standout, it was
race
George.
on a 1-stop.
But the
George
problem is
wasn't
you don't
even
know.
in the top 3.
You don't know he's going to win it because the commentators are all like, he's about to lose to Hamilton.
I know I'm blaming it. Let's blame it on the commentators.
but who did
Let's
you
focus
vote
on them.
for?
Neither
I
of us
watched the
voted.
race
We're
at like
too
6
late.
o'clock.
Okay, I forgot.
But if you were going to vote, I think I would have voted maybe Danny Rick. No,
I don't think
I mean,
you would
he
have
had a
voted
really
George.
good
he had a
race.
good race.
I think I would have.
No,
I would have voted for George. I think.
no,
I
you
really
wouldn't
do think so.
have. No, you wouldn't have. This is what I'm just trying to make my point of. you're saying this, but you know you wouldn't have voted for him.
George was only
it.
likable when he was at Williams, and as soon as he went to Mercedes, it was like the ick. The
Yeah.
ick.
The ick.
Sorry, George.
Well,
oh no, I
I
got
just
the
thought it was
major ick.
bizarre.
The major ick from the Tire Whisperer. It was
Perez?
no. George's nickname is the
Oh,
Tire Whisperer.
It's not. They just
It's
say that
not.
about anyone who has a
They
good race.
say it, but I think Toto said it on the radio to him, and
You're
I
a tire
got
whisperer,
very
George.
I got very icked out. I don't like that. It's fine. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is like last week when Lando was like, well, tell Oscar to catch up then. That gave me the ick. Major ick. I get the
Okay.
ick anytime they're on the radio. And then once they get out of the car and they take the helmet off, I'm
The
like,
ick's gone.
You have
Okay.
to remind yourself they have to
I'm back in.
they have to press a button to say
To talk.
something. So when they're like yelling, I don't know, like imagine like
Pressing the button.
you have to press
Have
it
you,
and then yell and then ugh.
have you seen the video where Charles's engineer is like, your mic is on, and it's just Charles like,
Yeah. His breathing sounds. Yes, I think we've all seen it, right?
That's the ick. That's the ick.
Oh.
no. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. George, I think sadly that tells you how well liked George is, which is making me feel a bit sad.
Well, this is the thing. Every other race this year where a non-Max has won, they've
won driver
also
of the
won
day.
driver of the day. It's like it should go without saying. If
Wait,
you're
but that
winning the
means
race,
he's won driver of the day once.
well, let's check. Let's find
I
receipts. You
feel
guys
like
talk
I've
amongst
never
yourselves.
seen his name for that. Maybe not this
What
year.
what race did he win? Okay,
Cookies.
so in Hungary, it was
Oh,
Oscar.
Yep.
And like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. Silverstone, Lewis, Austria, Lando, Spain, Lando, Canada,
Lando.
Charles and Monaco. What's the race that George won?
We don't know.
It's
You
just
were gonna
Lando
tell
every
us.
time.
there's a driver of the day conspiracy.
I'm
right
serious.
there.
He has not won. He
Poor
didn't win
George.
driver of the day.
No, he has
Ollie
not been up
Bierman
there.
won driver of the day in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. That's
I'm-
dark, you guys.
I'm not gonna apologize for always voting for Oscar.
You're just as
On
bad as the
Grace's
Lando
account.
girlies. I don't always vote for
Oh.
Carlos. I try to vote for who I think the true
Yeah.
driver of the day is.
The true driver of the day. No, I think that's what you're supposed to do, but I do think yesterday the true driver of the day
Was George.
Was
Was
George.
George. 100% agree. He had a really good drive. I feel bad.
Aw.
Like he didn't even win driver of the day. He didn't get to stay the winner.
Yeah.
But
He had to hand
okay,
his trophy to Lewis Hamilton and say,
Which then does
I
mean
guess
Charles
this is
got on the
yours
podium.
now.
yeah, Charles got it.
Yeah.
So
Good for me. Good for my fantasy team, I will say, which features
Congratulations.
Lewis
Did
heavily.
you like Dad's text in there? I just
No.
want it known that I was at the top of the family fantasy until
No
George
way.
lost his win.
I didn't get that text.
You might have sent it just to me.
Oh my gosh. He wants it known to
He
you.
wants it known to me, or I dreamed about it.
Should we talk about quali?
I did not
I hate
watch
going
it,
backwards. This is why.
Well,
Wait,
and
was
it's
there
good that
anything?
we
This
tried it
race
once
was
and now we
wild.
know.
There's a lot of passing in the race.
Yeah, there
And
was
then
a
they
lot
did
of
all get stuck in
passing.
that train. Daniel had a really good race. He did a lot better than Yuki. I fear Checo's out of a seat.
Oh, what? Yeah. Sorry.
She's on her
I'm just
phone
reading about-
now.
I'm reading about George Russell's career because I couldn't remember what race he won. He won in Austria after the crazy battle between Max and Lando. That's why Lando won driver of the day then. It was a last lap situation. Understandable.
Almost gifted, some would say.
Now we know and we can move on.
Yuki had P20. He was
Yeah, Yuki
penalized.
worked
So
hard.
he was back there. I still feel
yeah.
like he would have outqualified Daniel if he wasn't personally, but
Really?
he's just been doing better than Daniel. I don't know. I haven't really been watching the in-depth. Like, obviously I'm a Daniel Rick fan, but I don't know what's going on with him like this season. I don't know if like
He had a pretty good race. Didn't he get points? Did he finish 10th?
I think he did good, but I think in general, like compared to Yuki, I'm not sure if he's feeling like the car's good or not good. Like, I don't know what's happening with Danny, I guess.
Danny is certainly not showing himself to be dominant compared to Yuki.
No, but it does sound like he will
He's gonna get the
that
seat?
seat.
He's getting that seat.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet, isn't it?
I think
It's hard to be that excited for him when you're like, oh, are you gonna
be
are you gonna
better.
perform once you're in that car? It's just hard to know.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, sorry to go backwards in this discussion, but okay, what about Audi dropping all of their leadership and then putting in Mattia Binotto?
Maybe
he's back,
we could get
baby.
Mattia on the podcast.
Not anymore.
He hates Americans, I think.
Why do you
Only
think
if
that?
we get someone
he only
who's
wants
got
to speak
fluent
Italian. Yeah, he's
You
not
are
gonna
right
speak
about that.
English. I can tell he doesn't like Americans.
It'll be interesting.
I
That's
never.
with Nico?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wonder if that decision was also what made Carlos be like, okay, I'm not going to Audi. Because I feel like, to me, if I saw a team that was like, oh, here's our plan, it's like they haven't even started driving, like they haven't even finished the first car and they're like, actually overhaul of our leadership. And you're like, that seems like a bad sign.
Yeah. I do think Williams is probably the more practical choice. We all love James.
We
We're
love
big
James.
fans. Did you see his announcement video where James was like, even as I'm saying this, I'm feeling just a wave of emotion through my body.
Stop, I can't.
He didn't
Completely
blink.
straight-faced.
Do you think there's James Vowles fan fiction? Do you think there's team principal fan fiction?
Yes.
I think Toto
Do
is
I
the
think
only
there's
one.
James Vowles? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe just Toto.
And Cyril when he was around.
Oh, I would. Let's get Cyril on
We
the
could get him.
pod.
What's he doing?
He's on like another Renault team, like World
Like
WEC or something.
Formula E or something?
I thought he was in like endurance.
Oh, that sounds right. Oh, I loved that comment about Carlos having rally driving in his jeans.
They love to say that.
I love it when they say it.
And I love it when they say it. He loves the gravel.
No one ever says that about Max.
No, and Lando was way that. Oh, you know what? Okay. Last race thing I'm gonna say. Last thing. Lando's just so hard on himself. I was watching the post-race interviews, not the show, but just like the interviews with the drivers. He is always like, I'm glad he says he has like I don't know if he says he has like a mental health something.
He said that?
Sports psychologist.
Yeah, he's talked about it a lot. Yeah, he is a sports psychologist. And he's talked about it a lot because like he said that it was really hard joining Formula One. It was like something he's been talking about since he started in Formula One, like anxiety. And I feel like when you watch him in those races, you can tell he's just like so hard on himself.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little hard to
Some of his
watch.
post-race interviews are really tough to watch.
Yeah. And like the
Yeah.
way, I was gonna say the way he responded like after the fact about everything with Oscar, he was so like, no, I'm glad I made the choice of letting him pass. I should have let him pass earlier. The team is the important part. Like I was like, whoa, I feel like that's honestly like almost further than you need to go. Like in my mind, I'm like, it's also okay to be like, I'm a competitive being. It's really hard for me when I know that I can win this race to give that up because that's my whole job. But instead, he was very like, I should have given him the place right away. And it's only me who looks bad. Yeah. Also, let's talk about Zach Brown told Oscar that he would get a mohawk if he won, and then he didn't. I was like, a haircut is such a small thing compared to a tattoo.
Did you see the
Yeah.
photos
Yeah.
of the fake one? Or
Yeah.
is-
I
oh.
hate it.
Get the
Shelly.
clippers
This
out.
is the second seat mentality. Zach loves Lando. That's all that is.
But he got a tattoo for Danny Rick.
That's true.
I think.
And even if, yeah, he like also that race, Lando had the win and they gave team orders that forced him to let Danny Rick win.
I think
Shelly.
no, I think this
Well.
past I think the past race made McLaren look bad, so they're not gonna celebrate that. Like maybe their winner
Oof.
won, but their strategy was bad. And I think all in all, everyone thought McLaren, you don't
They
look good on
literally got a
this.
1-2. They don't like that bad.
They got a 1-2, but they didn't. I think a lot of signs show that they didn't really celebrate it. Like they haven't really put anything out of them celebrating at the facility. Oscar hasn't really. Maybe it's been busy, but he hasn't really gotten like a proper celebration. I think they want to hide this one because they know they messed up, but they're not going to admit it.
Whoa.
So.
I don't know. They posted like 7 times about getting a 1-2.
That's it.
And then being
yeah.
like, and all these
That's
points.
it.
That's it. That's all you're gonna get.
Stop.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
There's
You're
been a
so
lot
dramatic.
of conversation around
Drama. She's giving like the
Oscar
Charles
Gordon.
and Carlos at Ferrari drama, where people are like, obviously Ferrari hates Charles because they're sponsored by a Spanish bank. And then there's all the Carlos fans who are like, Fred obviously hates Carlos because him and Charles work together. It's like, it's all,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as deep as we want it to be.
No, it's not as deep, but you know that Lando's their number one. That's all I'm saying. It's just that mentality. What do you mean? He is the number one driver there. We all know.
No, I know. You're right.
I think he is, but by not as much as you're implying.
No, not
I
as
don't
much.
think-
But I think Zach holds a lot of weight, right? Like Christian loves Max. You know, it's Max is the number one. He's gonna do anything
Christian
for
loves
Max.
Danny.
Maybe too much. Yeah.
I do feel like McLaren, maybe slightly more than other teams, gives off like, well, whoever's like performing at a higher level is gonna get favored a little bit. Like less than really stepping
Well,
up to the
yeah.
plate from the last few races. I do agree. I think he's got the like winner's mentality and he's like hungry to like go out and get more. And I do think something's up with Lando.
Well,
Something's not
see
right in the villa of Lando's head.
Nico Rosberg was talking to the team principal from McLaren, and he was specifically, I feel like, referencing the Mercedes years and their fallout, and was basically like, you guys need to have even clearer communication about what the team roles are, because that's where you get into trouble. And he said, you shouldn't have told him at your earliest convenience, switch with Oscar. You should have told him you need to switch with Oscar now.
Yeah. They did really beat around the bush. It was weird.
Yeah.
But I'm talking
We're worried
more
about your
like,
tires.
talking about Lando's mental, like where he is in the mental. Because
In the mental.
I just feel like his race starts are not it right now.
No. Oh my gosh.
There's something going on. Maybe I don't know.
He needs to go
There's something
back and
going
see
on.
that sports psychologist.
Well, maybe, yeah. Or like a regular psychologist.
Yeah.
And that's great and lovely.
He
And
needs summer
something
break.
is clicking for Oscar right now. So I'm just curious if they're going to start favoring Oscar a little bit more. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And then
Oscar,
Lando
world
will
driver
go to
champion.
Williams. No.
No, I think Lando's going to like die at McLaren.
a
Lando
dark
is to
secret.
McLaren what Charles is to
To
Ferrari, I
Ferrari.
think.
But at least McLaren is getting better. Took enough years.
Yeah. He really put in the time.
But so has
He earned
Charles.
it.
I think Charles has literally been at Ferrari as long as Lando's been at McLaren.
Mm-hmm. You might be right. He's won plenty of races with Ferrari.
No, he has. And Ferrari has definitely had its like
They've
years where
had,
you were like, okay, this was going to be a good
mm-hmm,
year. And then, they can't develop their car, I feel like. They get no, that's like, I think that's their problem is they get halfway through the season and the other
yeah,
teams are like making big steps up and like improving their car. And they're
yeah.
like, we're deproving our car.
They're spending too much money on tiramisu and
Tiramisu.
pizza at the factory.
That's offensive. No. They're spending too much money on their PR games, on their Ferrari fashion line.
They're not spending too much money on that.
Okay, take me to qualifying, friends.
It was raining.
Thanks. Okay, did they put Danny on intermediates?
They were all on intermediates.
They were all on inters. Well, what was the story where they were like, we thought it was going to be a better choice?
More context.
Maybe they sent him out right away because they
Maybe.
thought that the rain was going to come and get heavy, but there was something going on with the radar. It was like they kept being like, it's going to start raining in 8 minutes, and then it would just not
the
rain.
mountains.
It
the
was
mountains.
like light. The mountains. The mountains.
The mountains.
I don't know. So, and then they were like, if I were the teams, I would be sending people out on bikes and cars to go scout out this weather, which I laughed, but some of them are already doing that. It's crazy.
That's the job we could get,
Um,
Shelly.
Honestly, maybe that's the one for us.
Shelly?
Do you think you have to have an engineering degree to get that job?
You need a meteorological degree.
I'm a rain spotter
I'm a rain spotter.
professionally. Okay, I noticed during either the race or quali, there was like somebody standing behind Toto in the garage, like a volunteer marshal, or what do they call them?
Okay.
Marshals?
Marshal.
I don't know. With his little vest, and it said like overseer, or like he was watching to make sure nothing weird was going on in the garage.
Obsessed. I think you
And
have to
I
have
think
a
maybe
lot
that
more
job.
specialization for that job. I love that you're like, we could get that job, right?
Anything else to add here?
Shell, are you going to tell us about qualifying?
Sarah and I watched together.
We did.
That's why you guys are being so
I
quiet.
think Checo, it was surprising to see him perform well. That was good. Anne's hopes were raised for a slight
and then
second.
dashed back to the ground.
She's recovering. Yeah.
She's recovering.
She's
She'll
mourning
be back
already.
next time.
Yeah. So that was good to see. But yeah, I think it was just hard because the weather conditions were so different during practice and quali versus the day of where it was all dry. So yeah, a really weird mix.
Supposedly, I heard something that McLaren had set up their car for a dry race. So people were like, they're going to do amazing.
I heard that too. And that's why they didn't qualify quite as good.
Yeah.
So they third and fourth.
Yeah, that's I think fourth and fifth, but I think when it came to the race, that's I think the main piece that Oscar had talked about, just the qualifying position maybe costing him the places. But it was we already kind of went through the race and went backwards, but it was very close, which was exciting to see at the end, the top three. And Oscar almost like ran through that Jack person, which
yeah,
kind of crazy too.
That's your man.
Yeah,
he's got that dog in him. He's got the champion mentality. He's ready to go.
Actually, I do think it's interesting because he did do that, and then it ended up being like a 4-second stop because of that.
Yes.
He ended the race within like a second of George, I think.
Oof.
So there is maybe a bit of an argument to be had. I think this is where the mentality thing comes in. Is like Oscar at the end of the day, at the end of the race, wasn't like, oh, if I hadn't done that, I maybe could have won. Like he's like, yeah, I'll try not to do that next time. Didn't mean to do that. Whereas I feel like if Lando had done that, he would have been like, I should have won this race. This was my race to win, and I lost it.
Yeah. Because Lando is caught up in this storm of like like everything is my fault. And
Mm-hmm.
because I messed up, I didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
Versus being like, oh, I made a mistake. Next time I'll change what I'm doing, or, what can I do to change that? And I do think
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very common thinking for people in our generation. Me and Lando are the same age. But it's not very helpful thinking when you think
No, it's
everything is
not.
just like, oh, I failed. It's like, well, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really help you get better or change anything. It just lets you
Yeah,
feel
it's not
bad.
really like a productive mindset.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Mm-hmm.
put it. Is that what your
Yeah,
therapist told you? That's what mine
yeah.
told me.
Shout out.
Shout out.
My unnamed therapist. Woo.
Sarah, do you have anything to add about Lewis and his
I know. I was like,
His
Sarah's gonna be
surprise win.
pumped.
Oh, no. I mean, I feel like you can't really celebrate it like a normal win, can you? It's kind of an Oscar of last week, but maybe worse, like even weirder, you know? But I'm happy for Lewis. I'm happy for my fantasy team. And I do think he had a really good race. That's the thing. It's like he really was also passing aggressively. I feel like he had a really good strategy.
He
So,
did.
you know,
well, there was the conversation around how he was upset because he wanted to do a one stop, I think.
mm,
And he was like, they didn't give me that
mm,
strategy. They wouldn't give it to me. And they
but
gave
they
it to
let George
George
do it.
because I believe that they were like, oh, George is gonna be in fifth. Like, why not? Let's just like test this rogue,
Yeah.
strategy.
It does seem like the strategy that you give to your second driver. It's a nothing to lose sort of
Which,
strategy.
again, I come back to like,
Second
why did
driver
they
in that
not do that
race.
with Carlos? But yeah, no, I hear what you're
That's
saying.
what I
But
want to know. Yeah, I think Ferrari should have just gone for it. I think it's so
and
silly.
they knew that that's what they should be doing because they kept him out. They always do this. They're like, let's consider it. And then
Yeah,
like before they even do it, they're like, actually, never mind. And you're like, well, what's the
right.
point? You've ruined all of your strategy. You didn't
Yeah,
undercut anyone. Now you're
yeah.
just at the back of this. Like, what? What are we doing?
And his middle stint was like
His
7
middle stint was
laps.
7 laps. It doesn't make any sense.
It's kind of dumb. It's kind
Yeah,
of dumb.
the
Yeah.
post race with Carlos, William, Buxton, and Ruth was just like very telling that like Carlos had a strategy going in, and like Ruth was even agreeing with him. And I think at one point Will was like, why didn't anyone else consider the what's up? And Carlos is like, I did. And Ruth is like, he did consider it. They didn't take it. So Ferrari didn't
Hmm.
take it. So it was hard to hear that. I think when I turned on the race, Carlos was winning, and I was like, this is a turn of events. Very happy and wanted to see a Ferrari up there, but
No.
they lost. Yeah.
Okay, we've been sending all of our spoilers in the like hidden whatever
Invisible ink.
Invisible ink.
And so I pressed on a picture that you had sent
Oh
before I
no.
finished the race, and I just saw like a red bib. Like I thought it was Ferrari. And so I was like,
Oh.
oh my gosh, a Ferrari is going to win this race.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
So when Carlos was leading, I was like, oh my God, he's going to pull off the one stop.
I
Imagine
think
my
he could
disappointment.
have. I think he could have.
When
That's
it's
what's really
invisible ink, you're
disappointing.
not supposed to look, Grace. That's
I
the
didn't try
whole
to. I just
point.
touched it on accident. I didn't
Granted,
even
I
see the
did send a
face.
lot.
I
But
thought, oh, maybe it's Charles, maybe it's Carlos. I don't know, but a Ferrari is about to win this freaking race.
it's sad because the image was actually Carlos and Charles in front of a burning Ferrari building. I think that's the one you saw. So, yeah. sorry.
Whoopsie.
Not sorry.
Not sorry.
Yeah.
Why was that a spoiler?
I don't know. I didn't want to put anything out there to show how bad they were going to be doing, even though we know that that's how they have been doing.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope they figure
actually,
something
Charles
out
got
over
on the
summer break.
podium.
He did,
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
true.
he looked so sad when he was in fourth, and then they did another video of him now knowing he got P3, and he definitely looked better. And I like this man, he's happy for this. He's like, yep, I'm
Happy
gonna
with
take
his
this.
bronze.
I'm gonna take this
Honestly,
happily.
Don't be mad at me, but I feel like Lando and Charles have very similar mindsets in this
Oh
like
yeah,
the self
sure.
like, oh, it's my fault. I
Absolutely.
messed up. If I would have
Yeah.
done
Yep.
better, we would have won.
Yeah,
Charles is
yeah.
less vocal, but yeah, I think they both got a sad boy in them. They're both sad boys.
Yeah. And I need to work on that myself because I think I'm attracted to sad boys, but I need to be attracted to like go-getters. Like I need to be attracted to the Alex Albons of the world who are like, we're going to come back stronger and better than ever for next week. We're working together. We're going to pull it together.
And we're
Mhm.
No
gonna
more.
be giggling about it
Yeah.
all the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Logan might be a sad boy too, Shelly. I just hate to tell you it.
Oh, he probably. Oh yeah, no, I think he is. That's why all the sad girls are
They
flocking
flock to him.
I'm a sucker for lore. Like, and there's a lot of lore with him and Oscar. So I think there's a little bit of that rubbing off.
I do love your concern that he will now have to live in America.
Yeah, I had mentioned that
Mate.
that like him and Oscar, I think both did a lot of racing in the UK. So I think primarily that's kind of where they grew up. And so if Logan is now out of a seat and going to IndyCar or another, place, and it's maybe in America, I don't know how it all works. He might have to move back, and I don't know that he is actually an American anymore. I think he likes
He's gonna need to
where
get a
he
green
is.
card.
Maybe he's gonna come back to Florida and see, oh,
Ooh.
this place is not it. I just come here for fun occasionally to see family and have a race. And then I like to go home to Monaco. I don't think he's in Monaco. I think he's in UK.
He can't afford
Can't
Monaco.
afford it. No, they're not paying him that
Milton
much.
Keynes. Milton Keynes.
Milton
Is
Keynes.
that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
So
That's the Red Bull one. I know that's not
Yeah.
the right one. Might
mm,
as well be though. Might as well be.
anything else?
Overall, let's just say F1 is so back. F1 is so
F1
back,
is
you guys.
back, baby. Actually, is Lewis Hamilton about to be back? And then he's
Lewis
going to
Hamilton's
Ferrari.
And then
about to be
he's
back.
going to Ferrari and
way
he's
worse
gonna
than McLaren or
be done.
than Mercedes.
That's what's so good about it. That's what's so fun about it all. I love the drama. It's crazy. It's crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to win, who's passing, who's crashing.
Who's disqualified? Joe again.
Poor Joe. And then did you see that they literally
Poor
said that he
Joe.
was Sonoda? I was like,
Oh,
What?
yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
we'll enjoy his DNFs because we won't be seeing them probably anymore
So
after this
sad.
year. So
Yeah.
I wonder what he's gonna drive next.
a
Maybe
You think
bike.
he's
Formula E.
a bike? Do you think
A
he's just gonna
bike?
become a fashion icon?
Mm.
MotoGP.
Yeah.
Any
think-
last predictions?
I have an idea for maybe next week's episode.
Okay.
Well, just a thought because it is the Olympics, which is really fun.
Oh, yes.
So maybe we do some sort of like Olympics F1 crossover, Olympics watch, or talking about like how to bring motorsport into the Olympics. Our ideas
Mhm.
for that. Just a
Love
thought. Yeah, as the world is coming together to celebrate.
I'm in.
sportsmanship, etc., etc.
Yay.
I wonder if there will be any drivers at the Olympics.
I hope so, right?
I
Pierre's
hope
got
so
to be
too.
there.
Yeah. I think Charles is going to
Pierre,
be there.
Charles. The
They're on
French one.
vacation. Let's
They're on
see.
vacation.
They love watching
Oh, get
other
it.
sports.
Maybe one of them will show up in the Love Island villa. 5 weeks is just the right amount of time.
I did see a YouTube video with Carlos where the person was interviewing him and he made a statement that his girlfriend thought he watched too much golf. And I thought, that doesn't sound like a PR relationship.
Grace thinks there's a lot of PR relationships in
No, I don't.
F1. We won't
That'll
get
be
into
another
it.
episode.
No.
That'll be another episode
That's
during
on the
summer break.
Patreon.
And
That's
by
all we'll
Patreon,
say.
we mean
See
you
our
could just
Venmo.
Venmo.
See your Venmo.
And then I'll call you up and I'll tell you what I think
Then
about
you
PR
get Grace's phone number.
Okay. Arrivederci,
Okay.
babies.
Bye.